All right, thank you for being there. Up next on the program is the newspaper review.
All right, Chukudi Okoli Ogbaja is here with us this Friday. Chukudi, good to see you.
How are you, dearie? I'm happy to be here as well. It's Friday.
Yeah.
I need to rest.
Yes.
I'm not creaking in the wrong places, but I think I need to rest.
You're sounding like tomorrow you don't have one session somewhere.
What session are you talking
Don't mind him.
Anyways, let's
He thinks I'm looking for money with the feet, the hands, the head, everywhere.
Let's get into the papers quickly. We'll begin with the Nigerian pilot.
Okay. Let's begin. And there's this screaming headline in red. Addiction. Senate move to ban sachet alcoholic drinks from December this year. Directs NAFDAC, other relevant regulatory bodies, to strictly enforce ban. Resolves that no extension should be granted beyond current moratorium next month. Regrets that availability of cheap alcohol fuels social vices, leads young generation to self-destruction. Interesting. And above that, which is just below the nameplate, Anambra Guba, INEC begins distribution of sensitive materials, is on page 6. The FG reveals plan to stock up strategic food reserves. Below, just down the page of the Nigerian pilot, Diri's leadership contribution to knowledge exceptional. That's according to Shatima, Mutfwang, and Unilag. And that story is on page 9. Of course, it comes with a picture story. And police arrest 4 persons in Kwara over killing of chief imam. EU deploys 687 observers ahead of Saturday's governorship election in Anambra. Reps committee to probe security intervention funds assures of transparency, accountability. This one in health reads Lassa fever claims 176 lives across 21 states. And no coalition will save Governor Adeleke from defeat in 2026, Osun APC boasts. And finally, from the Nigerian pilot, court fixes November 11 to rule on Sule Lamido's suit to stop PDP convention. You get details of that on page 5. And the business NG is next. Naira strengthens to 1,436 to a dollar as forex pressures subside. Reserves hit $43.3 billion. That's on page 2. Below the nameplate, only 22 firms dominate NGX, control 78% of market value. Is that good? Is that bad? Well, find out from the business NG. And details continue on page 2. And finally, from here, Abga's 20-year reign faces test in tomorrow's Anambra poll. Ray.
All right, so let's look at the leadership now. Leadership leads with Nigeria initiates diplomatic talks with U.S. following Trump's threat. The rider will responding to genuine concerns raised. That's according to the minister. Page 4, you want to find out the minister in particular. A copy of the leadership will do you good. Away from that, this interesting headline here says, People's Democratic Party, that's the kicker, devil using members, says Damagum. Interesting. That's on page 23 of the leadership this morning. Looking below the pictured story, we have Anambra poll, 55,000 security personnel deployed. INEC distributes sensitive materials. And federal government secures $396 million for internally displaced persons Sokoto Health Project. Details on page 20 of the leadership. And the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, is talking right here. He says Nigeria loses $56 billion annually to malnutrition. Details on page 18. And just beside the masthead this morning, we have controversy as FIFA appoints South African referees for Nigeria-Gabon World Cup playoff. That's on page 29. And that's a bit on sports this morning. Chukudi.
Damagu says the devil is using members. Oh, devil don't suffer. It's okay, no problem. He actually says that those who are doing what they are doing to PDP should know that there's karma, action and reaction. What you push in is what you get later. You know? Mm-hmm. I can only say we wish them luck.
And we hope the devil gets out.
But devil don't suffer. Devil. One man from my village, they call him Deborah. It's okay.
Blame it on the devil.
Yeah, blame it on the devil. Mbadinuju Ngige Obi Obiano Soludo or Abga. Is it going to remain like that after Saturday? That's tomorrow. I think that election is one that might attract more competition. I think so. Let's not go naming parties that are. Yeah, there's I don't want to name a particular party, but some people tend to be thinking that a particular party is having some kind of ascendancy over other parties towards 2027. Who knows whether that is going to play out in Anambra State? We live to see. But I like the preparation by INEC. Sensitive materials are not yet deployed there, but the ones that can go in have already gone in. We don't want to hear excuses. It's actually the INEC side I would like to dwell on more. INEC will tell you we're ready for this, we're ready for that. On election day, you still wonder why there are still some hitches. And look, we're talking about one state. So if anybody is thinking that this is a litmus test for 2027 happenings, I would say think again. Because you will be talking about 36 states and Abuja then, you know. So Anambra is not a litmus test. It is one election that must work because it is handleable. It is within the size of a fist. You can hold it and implement it. So let's execute all the things we need to execute and show that we indeed can do things on our own and do them well.
All right, and this one's screaming addiction here. Senate moves to ban sachet alcoholic drinks from December this year.
I hope you don't take it.
I think NAFDAC had been on this. That's why it came to me as a bit of a surprise. Now Senate is giving it the backing that it needs.
You know, I am old school. I went to Sunday school. That affects the way I think. This locking the stable door when the horse has bolted does not quite. I'm more interested in raising youths that actually have good morals. There are some of us who would not drink. Actually, there are some of us who, when they take 2 bottles of beer, will start singing on the highway. You know. So the point is, let us try as much as we can to bring up people who were raised in a rich environment. I'm not talking about cash. I'm talking about an environment that inserts good morals in people. That is the one that lasts longest. Yes, NAFDAC can do whatever they want to do and all, the NDLA will join and all, but the real thing is self-restraint. And again, I grew up at a time when the Surgeon General would warn that smoking is dangerous to health. Why don't we have something like that for alcohol? I don't even hear them say it for smoking anymore. I
think it's usually written on the packet.
Oh, well, but the electronic also echoed it
when they
those
used
days.
to advertise.
Now they don't advertise.
That's the point. They don't advertise. You caught me there. Or rather, the tobacco people caught me there. So whatever happens, I think we should learn to raise youths that know that certain things are harmful to them. Yesterday, I was saying that in my time, Igbo was smoking in the bush. Now, bush, then they hide goat smoker. Even then, the smell will still, float towards you because that thing bad. But these days, the man walking ahead of you could actually be smoking Igbo. There was a place I went to close to Abattoir. I saw people selling things in small bottles. Ogaide. Are you telling me that the police do not know that such a place exists? We have to become sincere people so that our lives will get better. But the Senate move is okay. Yes. If it's too easy to get, it also becomes an easy vice. So that's what they're thinking is. But we should become more fundamental in fighting vices. Raise good children.
Yeah, well said. There's this story about...
2 stories I missed on the Business NG. I just saw them.
What
and
did
2
you
good
miss?
stories, the kind of stories you like, actually.
How would you know stories I like?
I know you. Filling stations cut petrol prices as landing cost drops. It's on page 2, that's 1. And Emirates to resume Nigeria flights after 2-year suspension, also on page 2.
Okay, let's start with the Emirates then. That is good for us. Movement is something that sustains commerce, sustains, good livelihood for those who can afford it.
And then competition.
So I like competition as well as
Increased
enhanced. And that's going to affect airfares, If you know that Mr. B offers what you offer as Mr. A, you don't begin to think like a monopolist, Having said that, I like the way you said stories I would like, because I've always been prophetic about fuel here. Hardly would fuel go beyond 1,000 in Nigeria again. Market forces have kicked in indeed. I'm surprised that the ones that are affiliated to Dangote that were doing 850 something, 59, they're all doing 950 now, almost everybody. But even that cannot be sustained. After some time, you'll see a drop. I'm looking for a situation where in 2026, we talk about 750. That's where my mind yearns towards.
All right, Prophet Chukwudi. I hope that...
I know how you will say I don't look like one.
I hope it comes to pass.
The packaging does not matter.
Even size does not.
What has size got to do with it? Please give me what you want.
Anyways, this malnutrition, Nigeria loses $56 billion annually to malnutrition. That's according to the Vice President. And, looking at what happens afterwards when children are malnourished, health concerns, losing children, to diseases and all of that.
The good thing is that
how it affects
food
the nation.
prices are dropping. In fact, I still ask Nigerian reporters, go and find out whether importation is responsible for... Because it's so drastic. I mean, it's so sharp, the drop in prices of foodstuff. Apart from tomato now, groundnut oil, you find out that you can buy all these other ones so easily. Oh, but it's a bit expensive, though. They say that's what you should plant now, not maize and, sweet potato. That's what brings money. So... the good thing is that food prices are dropping, so the malnutrition you're talking about is going to also take a dent, if it's not a hammer blow to take it down. At least we're moving somewhere. Actually, I saw in one of the papers where government is saying that the fact that food prices are dropping is a sign that their policies are working, their agricultural policies are working. I am still saying, could importation be happening somewhere? You need to find out.
All right. Many thanks, Chukwudi. The producer says it's time to go. Have a swell weekend, and we hope to see you on Monday. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll get into our conversation for today. Of course, we're talking about the Anambra election, which happens in a few hours. Stay with us.